We know you have a lot on your holiday to-do list. And at the UPS Store, we're here to help. With our pack and ship guarantee, your gifts will arrive intact or you'll be reimbursed. Got holiday cards to print? We're also the premier printing store. We've got everything you need for every way you holiday. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation Show. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. we always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation Show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome back to the MisFitNation Show. It's our Thursday after dinner show. It's pie day, so make sure you get some pie today, whether it's pizza or your favorite fruit pie, chocolate pie, whatever kind of pie you want. Today on the way back from work, I stopped to get some Jesus chicken, and inside the bag there's a note saying, "You make a difference in people's lives." That just made my day. Thanks, Miguel here in Alexandria, for writing that note, put it in my Chick-fil-A bag. Made my Jesus chicken taste that much better. So we have a good guest. He's been a dedicated dog trainer with a passion for empowering puppies, dogs, and their owners to achieve greater success and harmony in their home and around town. With years of hands-on experience, he's honed his skill in canine behavior, obedience, emotional support, and service dog training. He firmly believes that a well-trained dog is a happy and confident dog. And his mission is to empower dog owners with the knowledge and tools to create a peaceful and loving home for themselves. So without further ado, welcome Brady Foulk to the MisFitNation. Welcome, Brady.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Rich.
It's all to have you here. You reached out. You said you didn't think we ever had a dog trainer on here before, and to give you a chance, come on. We have had a dog trainer on here for way in the beginning of our show in season 1. Probably our 14th episode or so. So you're our first video guest that's a dog trainer. So welcome.
I love it. Yeah, and if your audience here listening is here to get their dog to listen a little bit better, they're in the right place. And if you don't have a dog, we're also going to talk leadership principles and being an entrepreneur and everything else that went on for the next 20, 30 minutes. So thank you for having me again.
Awesome. No problem. Now, Brady, I gave about a 2-sentence blurb about you there. If you don't mind, give us a little more of your background from as far back you want to go to how we got into this and how we're moving forward.
Yeah, I am the oldest of 6. I grew up in a big family with lots of animals, and they were they were wild animals. We lived on 13 acres. They would run away often. They would get into the trash. They knew not to poop or pee in the house, so they were obedient in that sense. But other than that, they didn't know too many tricks or anything else. So growing up, that's what I experienced and what I saw as animals. But I realized that I wanted something a little bit more than that. So when I was 22, I got my first puppy, and I got an Australian Shepherd, and I named him Bumblebee. And he matched my lifestyle. I was doing jujitsu and running and going out, lots of different social events. And so I would bring him all over the place with me. But I remember about 6 months in, I went out to hang out with some of my friends. I didn't bring him with me, and I couldn't leave him in the crate because he would bark, and I was in a small apartment, and the neighbors didn't like it very much. So I just left him in my room thinking he'd be okay for the next hour or two. And I came home, and this smell hit me. And I walked in, and I opened the door, and I just see 4 piles of poop. And then I see a chunk of the carpet missing, and my dad's Father's Day present was ripped open, and my new book, the Tim Ferriss Tools of Titans book, was shredded the first 30 pages. And that was really my rock bottom, man. That was the point where I was like, okay, well, I don't have 13 acres of land. This dog has to understand how to do these things. So I need to go and learn. And so I found someone. Her name is Susan Garrett. She's a 7+ time world agility champion. And I first learned how to crate train my dog and give him that safe place, and how to hold position, and then how to ring potty bells to go potty. And I've taught him how to open up the fridge and get a water bottle and bring it to me, and then go and shut the fridge. So I've trained them to do a whole bunch of things now, and now I'm helping other people, like you mentioned, emotional service training. I'm trained a couple of service dogs for someone with cerebral palsy and another veteran, and it's a fun adventure with these dogs as well as the people, and kind of figuring out the culture that aligns for everyone.
Awesome. I have 4 dogs at home. All of them are rescues, and all of them have different personalities, to say the least. They go from 100 pounds down to about 34 pounds. 34-pound one is the boss of the house, as the female. So she's the fun one to be around, and she defends me to the end. The other 3 are not loyal at all. But we love having them in the house, and it's a pretty good relationship with the 4 of them and me. And my wife is kind of the one that they don't jump all over. I'm the one that they want to be around at all times. So I guess I'm fun dad. She's the evil parent.
Yeah, they do pick up on those type of things, right? They're like, okay, they enforce the rules, they don't. Like sometimes with jumping on couches, the dogs here, they don't jump on my couches because it's just not allowed. I would get in trouble by my girlfriend, so I don't let them jump on the couch. But sometimes they go home and they jump on the couch, and their parents are like, what happens? And I was like, well, we have to set this up to where you enforce this, because they've been jumping on the couch for so long that they have different rules for you. So you have to be like, okay, the rules are changing. There's an elegant way to do it. But you have to make sure that you change the rule in your head too.
But definitely, it's a challenge when you keep rescuing new ones and bringing a new personality into the house to see what's going on and see what's happening. Yeah. It's fun to say the least, and they keep me young, I guess, in the house, since we're empty nesters minus them 4.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I, there's our 2 dogs, and we have a rescue dog which we're fostering right now, and then we have 2 guinea pigs.
Well, see, that's a challenge too. Guinea pigs and dogs. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to potty train the guinea pigs because we just got them a new crate, so we're trying to show them where to go to the bathroom. That's an interesting one. You got to get really creative.
I bet it is. Since you've been dog training, what transformation is your favorite?
So my favorite transformation would have to be Fuchsia. Yeah, Fuchsia. She was a dog that I was working at a facility, and they wanted to use e-collars, and I don't use e-collars. And so we ended up separating, and she tried going there, and it didn't work out for her. So she contacted me again, and her dog was reactive towards people, reactive towards other dogs, reactive towards their cats in the house. So the whole energy in the house wasn't meshing, and she didn't come when called, and she didn't really like to play with many things, and just not super focused, right? And if you took her on the walk, she would like bite at her leash. So I went over to their house, and I grew up in a big family. Our house was messy a lot of the times, but this house was messy and a little bit cluttered. And I noticed the dogs and the cats were like walking past each other in really tight spaces, and they didn't really have their own space to do anything. And then the next thing I noticed is the dog's favorite game was catch me if you can. So they would open the door, and the dog would grab a toy and start running around the backyard, and they could never catch her, right? They would be like, over here, and then the dog would run away over here, like over here, and the dog would run away over here. It's fun and cute, but when it came to like getting stuff done or leaving the park or any of these things, like the dog was like, nah, I know this game. And then the cats, the dog didn't want any part of the cats. You laugh because
the doomies. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that was what we were up against. And so the first thing we did is we got the house decluttered and organized, and we gave the dogs their own spots, and the cats had their own spots. So they had their own space for feeding and for treats and for just relaxing, because they were kind of all just hanging out on the couch. And we then changed the games we were playing. We played more than this game, but one of the games was this catch me if you can game. We went out there, and she took off. Fuchsia did. And so we took a step outside, she took off, and then we went back inside and started having a party by ourselves, and they're like celebrating and stuff. And then the dog, after hearing us for like a little bit, she came running back, and she's like, what's going on in here? Why are you guys partying without me? And we're like, we opened the door, and we're like, what's up? And then she takes off and runs away again. So we shut the door and start partying again. after 4 or 5 times, she's like, "No, I'd rather hang out with you all. This sounds like a lot of fun." And so we started changing this game to where she had to wait on her bed and run to us. And so we just changed what she was focusing on and how this game worked in her head. And then the cats and her, we had to get them liking each other. And the only thing she really liked was tuna. So we set up a gate between the cats and her. So they were on either side, and then they would see each other's face, and then they would give each other a little bit of tuna on either side of the fence. So we're associating, see your face, get some good tuna, see your face, get some good tuna. And they did it every single night for 3-4 weeks. And they built a relationship around playing this game. And then they played a couple more games where they would run to the cat's bed or run to the dog's bed, and they would stay on their bed and play too. So that was my favorite transformation, just because it was real rocky, and it seemed like there was no solution. And it was more than just a dog training solution. It was a whole holistic solution of doing some of the training, making sure the house is clean, and then building these associations back between the dogs and the cats.
Did you consider that your most challenging one, or was there another one that was more challenging than that?
That one had a lot of moving parts because the dog didn't like to play, but behavior-wise, the most challenging thing was picking up a credit card. Those requires a lot of like detail on the dog. And then getting this water bottle and opening up the fridge, that one was a fun one to put together too. So
I bet I always wished for a dog that can open the fridge and bring me a beer. So that'd be the best thing in the world. That way I could just always never miss a play in football.
For sure. But the first time, right, I've taught my dog how to do this. The first beer that he grabbed, he bit too hard that he punctured it, and it like sprayed all over the kitchen. He was like, "What are you doing to me, Dad?"
Yeah, this is horrible.
This thing is a monster. Yeah. So there was some rocky moments, but yeah, that's a fun one to do. And it's really simple to do too, right? It's like 3 phases. It's teaching them how to jump up, it's teaching them how to play tug, and it's teaching them how to retrieve. And you stack these things together, and I'll get them to touch their nose to my hand, and I'll put a Post-it note on my hand, and then I'll put the Post-it note on the wall, and they'll jump up and touch their nose to the Post-it note, and that goes on the fridge. And then the tug toy goes attached to the fridge door, and I tell them how to get it and pull it with tug, and then bring me the water bottle that is trained on its own with the credit card, right? But we're just using those core principles.
That's outstanding. And do these techniques, like you said, training the guinea pigs as well now, do the techniques you use with the dogs work with other animals such as the guinea pigs?
They do, yeah. So I focus on things that will work with all animals. So I've trained a pig how to paint, and she's raised over $10,000 for this nonprofit. And that's similar to what I just told you. It's like a retrieve and holding the paintbrush and then moving your head around. They're abstract paintings, but she loves painting. Her tail's going back and forth, and then she does it, and she gets a reinforcement.
And you said that's a regular pig, as a regular pig or potbelly pig?
Yeah, potbelly pig, like 400 or 500 pounds, cashew.
Wow, cashew.
Yeah, that's her name. There's a couple of videos on my social media of her.
That's outstanding. I'd love to see that. I'm probably gonna check that out after this to watch a pig paint. I've seen an elephant paint in Thailand, and I just thought it was abuse how they do things there. So I liked it, but I also thought it was kind of abusive how they do things there. So I kind of steered away a little bit. But I'd love to see this pig paint, cashew paint. Everyone should probably check out cashew. It's probably going to bring joy to your heart as you watch it.
Yeah, because Cashew was an abused and neglected pig. So she didn't like other pigs or people at all when I first started working with her. It took me a year to do this. And at first it was just getting her to like me, right? So I started off just like waving my hand and then tossing her some popcorn. And I just like wave my hand and toss her some popcorn. And I have videos from like the very beginning of me just doing that, to the point to where you shape them to pick up something off the ground, and then they have to hold it longer and longer in order to get the reinforcement. And yeah.
Wow. And how many hours a day did you stay with Cashew, or did you just go there like weekly to do this?
We would spend like an hour and a half together, and I would do it once a week.
Okay.
So there was 52 visits over the course of the video. I probably missed a few weeks, to be honest. So it was probably like 45.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm definitely gonna check out those videos after this. How long did it take you to become, I guess, the actual dog trainer you are now? How long do you think it took as far as your training to become a trainer?
You know, growing up being the oldest, I was constantly trying to influence and get my way and manipulate people to go to bed when I told them to. And I've learned a few lessons. Like my brother was reminding me the other day of how he wasn't doing what I told him to when he was a kid. And I took his crayons and I put them in a pot and I turned on the stove and I melted all their crayons. And I was like, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. Like, come on. And he's like, no, you did that. And I was like, shoot, did you do what I said? He's like, of course. And I was like, well, okay, there you go. It worked. But anywho, there's many ways to influence people, and you can intimidate people, you can bribe people, and you can inspire people. And I've tried all three, and all three of them work in their own ways, but they all have their own consequences. And so really, I've been at dog training 6 years, but before this, I worked at Apple and In-N-Out and Tiffany and Company and some other companies. And I learned a lot about work ethic and customer perception and sensory acuity and all sorts of stuff. So I take all those things and put them towards what I do now.
Outstanding. You said earlier during the beginning of the show about entrepreneurism and leadership principles. It's a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey as you started this business after working, I guess, with corporations as such. Now you're on your own. How was that journey, and how would you, I guess, tell others to go about that journey?
Yeah, I got started because my job laid me off the day after my birthday, and I wasn't expecting it at all. And they were like, well, you're the last one in, so you're the first one out. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks. It was my birthday yesterday. And they're like, oh, happy birthday. And I was like, great.
Wow.
So I left that company. And so I was like, well, my dog was like a year and a half years old at this point. And I was just helping friends and family. And didn't really know anything about running my own business. But now I know that operating procedures are very important. And having the same path to take each time is really important too, because at first I was just taking people's dogs for 2 weeks and I would train them and I would give them lessons after, but it wasn't a full complete integration. It was more like, Brady, can you take my dog and fix them? And now I offer a 90-day program where I can do the in-person lessons with them, both at their house and outside of their house, and I can take their dog for 2 weeks. But that took me figuring out and spending thousands of dollars on Google ads and paying coaches. And I really believe in compressing time. So I've paid a lot of coaches to help me kind of figure out my offer now, my value ladder, and how I bring people into my program versus just like, here, let me help you fix your dog. And like getting very narrow on like who it is specifically that I help and how I help them too.
Wow. Yeah, I guess the lessons learned as you go really help as you stepping up your business to, I guess, make the sales punch. Like you say, Google ads, you can go broke using Google ads and not really get a sale just by pumping money in, or Facebook, any ad service. You're not always going to get that bang for the buck unless you're putting the, I guess, juice into the wheels to make things go on your own as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then just partnering with other people. Like I want to help rescue dogs and provide animals to veterans to help them with emotional support type stuff. And there's a company already doing it called 22 Mohawks. And people have been telling me like, just go contact them and reach out to them. They're already doing it. And sometimes you just got to go and learn and help other people reach their goals in order to reach your goals. And there's a lot of stuff to setting that up. And I don't have the foundation or the knowledge base that they do. So why not help them instead?
And then in the end, you're actually helping each other. So you're giving them some of the skills that you have while also learning the things that they have already established to try to make one awesome program to help so many other people, not just veterans, help any of the service dog. Veterans do use a lot of them. I know there's a lot of different organizations out there like Canine Line. You just said 22 Mohawks, and there's a few others in the north that do it as well. So there's a lot of organizations that could probably use your expertise in that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of veterans and there's a bunch of rescue dogs, and it's like, why not pair them together?
Exactly. It's like a guided light to go together and make everything work together. Dogs will be happy, the people will be happy, and dog gets to wear a cool vest.
Yeah, exactly. You have a reason to wake up in the morning, and the dog has some
Yeah,
purpose too, instead of just being with at a rescue.
definitely, 100%. How can people learn more about you and the New Direction dog training?
Yeah, so right now I'm taking my youngest puppy who's 8 months old, and I'm teaching her how to ride a skateboard. It's something that I always wanted to teach a dog how to do. So I'm sharing that journey on TikTok and on Instagram. So if you follow me on there, you'll be able to watch them and be a part of the action. I talk about dog training. So you can follow along at N as in Nancy, D as in Drew, dog training. That's ND dog training, both TikTok and Instagram. So check that out. I ordered this skateboard, and it was a kid skateboard. And I told my brother I have to return it because it's too small. And he's like, no, you have to teach her how to ride it. And so she's gotten much better at riding the skateboard, but it's a little bit too small to take outside. So her new skateboard just arrived today, actually. So we're going to bust that open and take her outside for a little bit. I'm excited.
That's outside. Can't wait to look at those videos too. So I've seen the ones of the dogs surfing in California. Those are usually pretty cool. And Hawaii with their little goggles on, surfing, having a blast. And I think those are the coolest videos, the ones that make you happy, and they're not made up. So they're really awesome to see. Where do you see a new direct? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she already loves the skateboard. She goes and jumps on it right away. It's like pure joy.
I used to put my dog on the treadmill, and I thought that was an accomplishment. But riding a skateboard is a whole different, I guess, animal for that one. So
both impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, a little more. Yeah. But where do you see New Direction dog training in the next 5 years?
Yeah, my goal is to partner with one of these companies, and I partner with a couple other veteran inspired operations, and continue serving the people, continue helping building family of dog trainers to kind of shine a light on this industry, because it's all unregulated. And the only way, in my opinion, to fight the people that we don't like is to make our light even brighter and to make it even more attractive to people. So that's my goal, is to continue sharing and promoting. And if people want to learn more too, message me a book club. And I'm starting a book club with people across the world to talk about dog training. And you can share your wins with me. I can give you some tips and tricks, and then we can break down some dog training books too. So it's not just my information. It's information from other verified sources.
Outstanding. And earlier you mentioned the Tim Ferriss book that got eaten up by your dog.
Yeah.
Is he one of the books, one of the people you read a lot of his books or his work to maybe motivate you to move forward?
Yeah, Tim Ferriss is how I got started into all of this self-improvement type stuff. And I'm a big Ryan Holiday fan too. I normally have my coin next to me, like my Morfati coin or Sympathea. And then Tony Robbins too. I'm part of his community, and I've read a bunch of his books and been a part of his programs and his fire walks. So all of those things are greatly impacted my life.
Also, I had Dave Albin on here, I think 3 months ago, Firewalk man there, and he's doing things with that as well. As also a Tony Robbins guy. Worked with Tony Robbins for many years, started in Firewalks. Now he's kind of out on his own, branched out, so doing great things. So it's great to see that you had those people to motivate you and push you forward as well. If you had to give,
he's actually the one that I'm partnering with for some of these events, right? He's going to Modesto, California for an event.
Yeah.
April 12th and 13th.
He invited me out to that. He's called me a couple weeks ago to invite me out to that, but I'll be busy with my day job, so I can't make it out there. I wish I could. Yeah.
There's going to be more.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Way more.
When he talked to me about that, so that's going to be huge. And just thinking about all the people that are involved with one, I figure it's going to be across the country at some point. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it really is.
If you could give 3 bits of advice to the audience to create a better place for their pets in their house and lead forward and be great people, what would that be?
3 bits of advice. I shared earlier about some of my earlier leadership styles. And so to sum that up, when you get furious, get curious. There's problems are a sign of life. And look at these problems as an opportunity to work through it with your dog. The next thing is breathe, take a breath, like everything's going to be okay. The first option in one of the books is shoot the dog, right? You get rid of them, you find a new home for them, you rehome them, or like for your wife, you get a divorce, you get a new girlfriend, whatever it may be, or boyfriend, and take a breath, realize like this is a problem you get to have again, and take your time to go find some help, someone, because there's no problem that hasn't been solved before. So go find someone who solved this problem and reach out and ask them for help, and have humility and ask for help. I had to do it. I thought I could do it all on my own. It turned out I couldn't, and I'm very grateful that I did, because I've learned so much. And now it's my favorite thing is to go learn from someone who's done it and like compress those 5 years it would take into like 3 months, a 90-day program, and just cut down the time, because time, you're either using your time or your money. So whichever one's more important to you.
Exactly. It's a great advice right there. I like the breathe principle, because a lot of people get overwhelmed real quickly, and like you said, they think they're alone, and they're the first one ever to go through that situation. And the world's been around a little while. People have gone through the same thing you are, just at maybe different levels of it. But there are other people that have advice that or have rode that wave and came out the other side just fine. You'll be okay as well.
Yeah.
So, Brady, thank you for spending some of your Thursday evening with us on Pie Day. Hopefully you had some pie, or you're about to get some pie today. But
I have some
thanks
leftover
again
pie in the fridge.
There you go. Enjoy it, and have a great night.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Rich. Take care.
Awesome. You too.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Got a question about your VA benefits, healthcare, or eligibility? Go to va.gov, where you can access a new interactive chatbot to ask questions 24/7. One can still browse va.gov for information, but you can now ask specific questions to the chatbot, like what's the PACT Act? How do I apply for disability benefits? What's my claim status? You can access the new feature through va.gov's Contact Us page. Then click on the Start Chat button. The chatbot will continue to improve veterans' access to information about the benefits and services they've earned. This is one way VA is offering seamless and secure access to its online resources.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation Show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.